Okay, we're live for the second to last time of the NFL season. We have divisional round recap, conference championship predictions, 3 games left for the NFL season. As you can see, we are once again rejoined by the wonderful Rat. Cam is off the radar. I don't know what his deal is. We've scheduled both of the last weeks. We've been like, dude, here's the time. Here's what we're doing. Text him 3 times all day. Tag him in the chat. And then at the last minute, he's like, I can't do it. So I have my theories. I don't want to air them out. Public laundry, I don't know what could be going on there. I don't want to get into another man's business. So we're glad to have Rat back here. We'll have some continuity from last week because you were on last week, so we can talk about your picks last week. So
thank you for having me, Dubcast.
Of course. Whenever you want. So let's talk about last week. We had 4 games. Mikey, our winner in the clubhouse, going 3-1 last week. I was 2-2. Rat, unfortunately, you were 1-3. This brings overall record. Michael, you're up to 114, 105, and 2 at 52%. That didn't change. I'm at 151, 127, and 4 for 54%. Cam remains at 59%. Mark 56%, and Rat, you move down to 5, 11, and 1 for 31% on the year. Last week was your chance to salvage, but I mean, some gamblers, depending on what you place your unit size and whatever, going 7 and 11, that ain't bad.
I'm more of an over/under type of guy, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel free to give your picks for this week. There's only 2 games over/under, but so like last week, this will be a shorter podcast because obviously there's less games. We do have some out of playoff news to break down. I know Rat's gonna enjoy this topic. So let's get right into what happened this week. So Michael, the New York Jets have a new head coach. His name is Aaron Glenn. I believe this was yesterday this happened. And Tuesday they were like, he's not leaving the building unless he's our coach. And then he left the building and wasn't the coach. But they got it done yesterday. I thought they hired a GM with him, but I must have just misread that. Still looking for the GM, right?
They sort of started telling the other GM candidates that 2 days ago they were like, the other GM candidates heard the news that they were hiring Aaron Glenn, and then nobody heard until yesterday that he was actually hired. So I think it was sort of like a nothing leaves the building sort of deal, and they just had to like wait a day. But no, the GM's still not hired. They have a guy, I forget what his name is. They only have done 1 second round interview, but they have a couple more lined up, I think.
Is the guy from the Chiefs?
I'm not sure where he's from.
Okay.
But
anyway, so let's hear your thoughts. Aaron Glenn. Like it, love it, hate it.
It's fine. Like, the people who I listen to like it. Former Jet, played for the Jets back in the day. I wanted a coach that had been a head coach before because I feel like that's what this team needed. But, I mean, he was probably top 2 or 3 head coach candidate of this offseason. So, I mean, you could have definitely done worse. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's better jobs out there. Like, I think we were talking about how the Jags are probably a better job at this point. Raiders, I mean, you have a high pick, but good job by the Jets to nail this now.
The other thing was that he was their number 1 choice, and they were his number 1 choice. Like, he wanted to be the Jets head coach. So I feel like that is worth something.
Yeah, I didn't realize also that he used to play for them too. That's cool. Bring him back.
Yeah.
Does last week's performance give you any pause?
No, I've seen a lot of things about people complaining that I think both of them, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, both had interviews the week leading up to that game. And they were like, this is why interviews shouldn't be until after the season. But no, I don't have any consternation for that. He's been the DC for 3 years, and I think he did a great job, obviously, because they were 1-15 or something like that in his first year, and then they've been very good since then. So
would you still rather have Rex?
I mean, like a Rex type coach, yeah.
So basically just Rex. Arthur Smith.
Yeah. No. Arthur Smith is a bum.
I'm forgetting. I don't know. Pete Carroll. I don't know who else was in the mix.
Bill.
All right. Moving on. Rat, do you have any thoughts on this hire by the Jets? Concern you at all?
I don't know who Aaron Glenn is. Can we get a little brief?
Defensive coordinator of
He's
the Lions.
Coordinator of the Detroit Lions.
The defensive coordinator, the guy who just lets up like 80 points every other week.
Yep.
That one. 45 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lot to look forward to in New York.
I'm surprised they went defense again. Like they've just been keep hiring defensive guys, but I mean, do what you got to do. Former player makes sense. So now the Patriots and the Jets have a former player at head coach. We'll move on to our hometown team, the Patriots, at least me and Rat's hometown team. So 2 big hires made by them. They got the jump on the Vrabel hire, so they now get the jump on the offensive and defensive coordinator front, hiring Josh McDaniels and Terrell Williams for each respective positions. Rat, do you have any thoughts on this, or do you want me to take over here? And
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's so weird how we just keep hiring Josh McDaniels to be our offensive coordinator after he selects being a head coach. It is kind of sad. It's just like a safe pick, you know. Like he probably won't fuck up. He probably won't fuck up Drake May, but like you want someone who's got potential to like make Drake May be an amazing player and stuff like that. But it's not. There could have been a lot worse. I'm kind of either way on it. I know a lot of people are mad, some people are happy.
they made the playoffs with Mac year 1 with McDaniels, and then he left for the Raiders.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it in the car because I thought McDaniels was with us when we kind of had that year 3 years ago at this point where everything just fell apart, but he left for the Raiders at that point. Right. So he was always pretty good as an offensive coordinator. So I agree with you. I don't know if he's kind of a safe floor. I don't know if you can get to the ceiling with him. Like, I don't know if he's a Brian Dable for Josh Allen, but I'm okay with it. I'm coming to terms with it. I mean, it's going to happen regardless. I like that Vrabel's in control now, so hopefully that works out well. On the defensive side of things, I like the hire Terrell Williams, D-line coach for the Lions. Them boys have had some dogs over there. I mean, I think they've turned a bunch of players into pretty good players, so excited to see what he can do. I don't really know much about him, but I like that they're hiring outside the box for once, not just bringing back somebody from 2014 that won Super Bowls with us. Any thoughts on Terrell Williams, defensive coordinator, before we move on?
Don't know who that is.
Lions defensive line coach.
Oh my goodness, what is with this? I don't know.
That team that gives up 40 points a game.
Yeah, it's the AFC beast. Cool. I hope for the best. Optimism.
Yep.
10-7. Mac Jones gritty to the Pro Bowl.
That's a fact.
He did the gritty at the Pro Bowl.
Last one. The Chicago Bears have a new head coach, Ben Johnson. A lot of people's either 1A or 1B, as Mikey kind of said before on the podcast. He goes to the Bears almost instantly after their playoff loss on Saturday. He was hired on Monday or Tuesday. I forget which one. But, Michael, any thoughts on Ben Johnson with the Bears? Do you like this fit? And do you see them turning the ship around under his guidance, or do you think it's going to be kind of a botched hire?
I think there's probably better places for him. I feel like the Bears are like the Jets, like they're gonna just mess it up somehow. But I don't know. I said before, like people were saying how hiring shouldn't be done until after the Super Bowl, and interviews shouldn't be done until after your team's eliminated. And I kind of agree with it. It seems a little bit suspect. Like they had a bad game that, and then a day later he's the head coach of the Bears. Like it just feels weird to me. I don't know. I could just be the only one who feels like that.
No, there's definitely a lot of, especially Lions fans, feel that way too. I think it's weird because if you're a team like the Bears and you want Ben Johnson so badly, and then you're like missing out on interviewing other people because you're waiting for Ben Johnson, then it's like that guy could get scooped up, then you're left in like shit with no one to hire, I think that's probably the counter argument. I mean, The interviews during the playoffs, like I think that's weird as well. They would have to like kind of negotiate it, so it's just like after the playoffs is when you start hiring and start interviewing everybody. But yeah, it was kind of a weird way that this happened, especially division rivals. Ben Johnson was like interviewing a couple weeks ago, I remember, or not interviewing, but like he was rumored to be linked to that job, and then he was just hired there. So it's kind of like you can read the breadcrumbs of what was happening. I do like this hire though. I think this either is going to be a really dumb play or a really good play. I'm probably going to put money on Caleb Williams, comeback player of the year next year. I don't know if he's even eligible because he had like a somewhat decent year, but I think to the moon, Caleb Williams next year. I think Bears also make the playoffs next year.
That's
No
bold.
comment.
That is bold.
We'll see.
I don't
That'll
think,
be
I don't think comeback player of the year is the right award. I feel like it's like maybe Pro Bowl or something like that.
I don't know if
Is
you can bet on that though.
Is Darnold gonna win comeback player of the year this year?
No, maybe. I don't know.
They released the top 5 today. DeMar Hamlin's in the top 5. Darnold, Burrow.
It's probably Burrow. I feel like he only played a couple games last year, so right.
I think they should give it to Darnold. That was your preseason pick, right, Dubcast?
Yes, that was my preseason pick. Any last thoughts on any? Brad, do you have any thoughts on the Ben Johnson hiring?
I don't know. The Bears are always trying to do something. Every single week I watched, I was like, because the Bears started off good, they were 4-2, and then like every single week I was like, they still have 4 wins. I remember like 5 weeks in a row, just being like, no way that they still have 4 wins. I mean, you got to do whatever you can. I mean, the Bears is so sad.
Yeah, hopefully they can get it.
When you watch Jaden Daniels just like about to be in the Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, but if Jaden Daniels was on their team, they would just be bad.
Yeah, Caleb Williams would be a stud. Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up the awards to look at the odds, but I think it's closed. All right, so we did have a week of football last week. Let's dive right in. First game on the docket was Texans-Chiefs. I believe, Mikey, you took the Texans on this one. This might have been your only loss. That might be wrong, but what a weird cover spot where they get the safety. A lot of dialogue about the penalties on Patrick Mahomes, the unnecessary roughness, roughing the passer. People believe he has different set of rules. Michael, we'll go to you on this. What is your take on this? Because I feel like you have a strong opinion on it either way. Do you think there's too many penalties on Mahomes, or do you think that it's just a game is the game, you know? I think they're real penalties. As somebody who picked the Texans.
As somebody who picked the Texans, it was definitely a tough watch for me because the first one extended the drive, so they got a field goal out of it. The second stupid call got them extending the drive. They were both on third downs, like when they were not going to get it. They went down and scored a touchdown. So that's 10 points right there. And, I mean, in general, I feel like quarterbacks get too many calls. Like, once you leave the pocket and you're running, the ball's tucked, like, you shouldn't be protected like that. And, I mean, Josh Allen does it too. Patrick Mahomes does it. They, like, throttle down right before the sideline and, like,
I hate that.
Get hit, like, with a foot in bounds, like, maybe, like, straddling the sideline or something, and they get the call every time. Like, that's the stupidest call in football. It, like, makes it hard to watch. Like, there was even one, like, Patrick Mahomes got hit, like, barely on the sideline, and he fully, like, arms up, flopped backwards, like, right in front of the ref, and they didn't call it, which I was happy about. But that's, like, the sort of thing that just, like, makes it so not fun to watch that team and him. Like, he's a great quarterback. Like, he's probably top, whatever, 5 all time. But, like, that sort of stuff is just so cheap. I hate watching it.
So let me ask you a question quick before we get to the rest of this game. Just an overarching question.
They're the Patriots.
Yeah. Do you think, as somebody on the outside of the spectrum of the Patriots and the Chiefs, do you see similarities in this? Like, yes. Obviously, the Patriots 100%. are a rival of the Jets, so there is a little bit of bias.
As someone who watched the Patriots in their heyday and got their heart ripped out by them a couple times, also beat them in the playoff twice. But
I remember that. Yep.
It's very similar in the way that they're refereed and also like viewed throughout the league. And also just because they're like one of the great teams in the league. Like that's just what happens when you're on top for so long. Like you start to find things that like other teams wouldn't get just because you're
Right.
number one for so long.
Every
But
little thing is just another. It's another.
it's yeah.
Bucket, you know.
I mean, it definitely is a lot of one little thing, though. It's a lot
Right.
of one
There's a
little
lot of
things.
one little things, and you really notice
Yeah.
them a lot. Yeah.
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 So let's go back to this
I kind of feel
game.
the same way. I mean,
Go ahead.
they're just in the spotlight, winning a lot. That's kind of what it is. I think it's it's the Chiefs. It's whatever, but I think they're always going to win this game, and they're in the spotlight a lot. So those calls, everyone's going to complain about.
I mean, any
When
other
that
takeaways?
happens to the Texans, it kind of gets forgotten.
Yeah, I mean the Texans. I don't think anybody really thought they were going to win this game, maybe cover. Yeah, I mean this game kind of went as expected. I thought the Chiefs would actually win by more. They kind of looked a little rough coming out of the gates, which could be a good thing for the Bills next week. I thought they'd be well rested, try and shove it in your face, win by 100, but they went pretty sloppy. They barely covered. I mean, this is probably their biggest spread all year, just because everyone knows playoff Chiefs are different, but there's only 2 chances left for the Chiefs not to three-peat and just destroy the NFL. I mean, we're not going to talk about the MLB, but that sport's already ruined. The NBA's dog shit. Like, we need the NFL to save us. We need the Chiefs to lose. I'll save this speech for later. Any other thoughts on this game before we move on?
The fact that the Chiefs did look so bad for the majority of the game makes it so much worse that they were gifted the win. Like if it was just like 2 things and then they ended up winning 35-14, like that would be a whole different thing. But yeah,
I still don't even think even if whatever happened, I don't think the Chiefs would lose. I just still think automatically they'd win this game inherently.
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at with them. But all right, Rat, any final thoughts? Chiefs, Texans.
No, I got a little transition. I agree with Mikey there. They didn't play well, but transition. The Eagles again just didn't play that well. It was 2 Saquon runs. They got the turn. They won the turnover luck battle again.
Okay, don't transition. We have comments to read, and also that's not the next game we're going to talk about.
Oh right, I forgot that. I was only thinking about the teams that are.
I like the lead-in. We'll continue on with that in next game. So as always, the chat is here tonight. Here we go. You guys are such assholes. I'm about to visit my grandparents. I wanted to stay on all night. # Team Mikey. One thing, we don't plan our streams around when you specifically can watch. Number 2, why don't you just watch with your grandparents? # Team Mikey. Michael, any comments?
No. Thank you for the support.
This one's for
Greg.
This one's for Rat. Rat, what up, brother? Nice little salute there. Greg says this game was closer than I thought, but let's be honest with ourselves. The Chiefs are 16-1, but they're not very good. Agree or disagree, Michael?
If you're 16-1, you're good. Always, every time.
I agree that they're not 16-1 good, but they are a good team.
But if you're 16-1 good, you have to be at least 13-4 good, which is good.
So would you agree with this, Mike?
There's no way you can be 16-1 and not be 13-4 good.
People are saying
they got a lot of wins this year by very slight margins, by random shit happening. Like they won 4 games on either a missed field goal or a long field goal. Like they could easily have 11 or 12 wins, which is still that's a good team.
So a lot of people on the app known as X, formerly known as Twitter, are saying that the Chiefs use black magic, and I would like to hear your thoughts about the Patriots using similar voodoo shit, not using, but theoretically, the Chiefs this year have been a third team with insane luck. Every turn they get something in the last couple minutes, or it seems I mean, I'm not discounting them. I think they're a good team. We mentioned that before, but do you think that's the same type of thing with the Patriots? They always get that one lucky break at the end, demon magic level type stuff, or is this Chiefs team a layer above that? What the Patriots were, if that even made sense, what I just said.
I mean, I think they are the same team more or less.
Okay.
So
It's similar to Patriots. I mean, they won by 9. I guess it's closer than that, but they won by 9.
It wasn't really 9 though, but I mean, I get it. Yeah. So I think the Bills could actually make the Super Bowl. We will be discussing Chiefs Bills very shortly. NFL, give America what they want. Bills versus Commies Super Bowl. Michael, did you have Bills Eagles Super Bowl in your bracket?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so are you rooting for that, or are you rooting for Bills Commies?
I'm rooting for Bills Eagles.
Okay.
Because I think that the Bills have a better chance of beating the Eagles than the Commanders.
Okay. I agree. Every other sports league blows. Yeah, it's been a really bad week for professional sports, mostly the MLB. NBA has been on the decline for years. We'll
Why
save
has
that
it been a bad week for the MLB?
because everybody and their mother's signing with the Dodgers,
Yeah.
and they look like they're going to be the best team of all time because they just signed everybody, and there's no
That's
competition.
fair. I guess.
If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, it's totally rigged. I go back and forth on this. Mark made a good point about dynasties selling, but you think that the NFL wants 31 fan bases to just live and ruin and not have a Super Bowl, and it's just like this one team keeps winning over and over again?
The Patriots.
They didn't win every Super Bowl, though. They won every other year for like...
Yeah, exactly.
They won 2 in a row once, and then they won 1 the year after that year in between. And then
3 out of 4 years, which is what the Chiefs are right now.
And then they didn't win another one for 10 years.
Okay.
So you think that was rigged, and they're like, okay, enough of this. We're moving on to something else? I don't think the NFL is rigged.
No, I don't think the NFL is rigged either, but very similar.
NFL loves dynasty. Yep. Rat's got the thumbs up for some reason. My grandparents wouldn't understand what's happening. Well, maybe you could teach them, and they could learn from this podcast. Next game. Rat and I actually had the pleasure of being in each other's company watching this little dual-screen UFC. Commanders Lions.
None of Colin's bets hit that night. He was very angry. He was a little inebriated.
They did
he was
hit.
a little
I made
inebriated.
money.
He made a bit of a scene.
I told you the Commanders touchdown. No one tailed me on that. I took Zach Ertz, Terry McLaurin, Brian Robinson, and Jaden.
Didn't you scream at me about how it was a horrible idea to take Commanders minus 130 when they were up 10? They were up 10 points, and you had your hand there about to bet on the line. I'm like, dude, they're up 10 points. They're minus 130.
I kept thinking the Lions were going to win, and I also had a lot of money placed on that night regardless, so I'm not good at live betting. I can never pull the trigger. That's my problem. Anyways, let's talk about this game. So the Commanders are in the NFC Championship game with Jay Daniels' rookie year, Dan Quinn's first year with the team. Like, this is an absurd game. I think almost everyone on the bracket had the Lions to go to the Super Bowl. What happened? What did we witness here?
I actually had them losing this game.
You had the Lions losing to who? The Rams?
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen.
Well, they lost. So.
Not to the Rams. No, but respect. You had them losing, but I mean, I think a majority of people in America thought the Lions would at least be in the NFC Championship game, most likely playing for the Super Bowl. This is just a pretty disappointing, flattening loss. Like, I don't know where the Lions go from here. This was their year. You're the 1 seed. You have home field advantage. You're playing a rookie quarterback. Maybe Jayden Daniels will come to be the GOAT, and he'll just win every Super Bowl from here on out. But I don't know. Like, this game was pretty bad. You have the play calling in the fourth quarter. You're throwing like
yikes! It was bad.
Yeah,
Like double reverse pass into double coverage was just so ugly. They were only down 10 at that point with like 8 minutes left or something like that.
Yeah, the Lions when they get down are just, I feel like they throw shit at the wall, and sometimes it works, but like they're not a good come from behind team sometimes.
Yeah, this reminds me of that play reminded me of when it was just like they were down by 10 or maybe 14 to the Bills in that hype game. And it was like 13 minutes left, and they were just like, let's do an onside kick. Just for no reason.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell is a sicko. Like, they say it, and it's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the Lions go from here. Like, do you just run it back again next year? I thought that this year they would be not that good anymore. I think that's still going to be true next year. I don't see the Lions being as good. I think the Packers are going to run the NFC North next year. Maybe I'm just over-optimistic, but I mean, Goff kind of has the ceiling. I feel like Goff did not play well at all. And personally, from my standpoint, I mean, Gibbs looked fine. Montgomery came back, didn't do much. The defense got torched by Jayden Daniels. Just a weird game, but I mean, it's the playoffs. You have to win all your games. This is their first playoff game they lost. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answers are for the Lions. Now they're losing all their assistants.
Yeah, I don't think they're done. I don't think they'll be a bad team next year or anything. they'll get like their entire team back off injury, which is like a huge storyline in this game. They had like 20 something people on IR. And that, like, I feel like that wasn't talked about enough for us because, like, that's a lot to overcome when basically your entire defense is on IR. Your offense is losing people left and right. But I don't know. It's definitely going to be tough for them next year without trying to hire from within, which I think they'll do. I think they'll, like, promote people into the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator roles. Because that's, I feel like, what teams who are good do. But yeah, I like the Commanders in this game, and I feel like they are kind of on a roll, and I don't really know how the Eagles are going to stop them because their defense hasn't been great. But yeah.
I saw some, when you're at work and the bottom of the screen says like breaking news and it's not, it's just boring news. I clicked on that and it said that Jared. Yeah, I clicked on it today. It said breaking news and it was like they announced who's nominated for Oscars and I was like, wow, that's
breaking
right now. But I saw one of those articles and it was talking about how Jared Goff's gonna get replaced. Is that true? Or is that just?
I haven't seen anything to the liking of it.
I wouldn't think that's true.
I don't
People
know.
are saying
he does make a lot of money.
People were saying Hendon Hooker traded to the Jets to follow.
Oh.
Or was it the Bears?
I think it was the Bears.
Okay. Anyway, it's kind of meaningless news there, but I mean, I haven't heard anything about Goff being replaced personally.
Okay.
But I mean, let's talk about the Commanders on the flip side. Like, is this team legit? I mean, I guess we can kind of talk about that in the next segment, but specifically in this game, what did you see from the Commanders?
They were high flying. They were fast. They were good. Jane Daniels, he's calm. He's calm as a.
You in the group chat the other day, they were just like, the Eagles are gonna win. They're like, nah, Jane Daniels is too chill. Like he's not gonna let that happen.
So chill.
He's hanging out.
Calm in the pocket. He's happy. He's smiling on the sidelines. He doesn't have a care in the world.
I think he doesn't give a fuck, which is what helps them a lot.
Poise matters.
Poise matters.
Poise.
Anything else on this one before we move on?
Did you see the hit that Jared Goff took from after the pick?
No.
After the pick six? On the return, he got like fully laid out, like helmet to the face mask, like thrown on his ass. They didn't call a penalty, but it probably should have been.
Is that why he was out for a bit? Wasn't he out for a few plays?
Yeah, he got a concussion, and then
he was definitely concussed.
Oh, Teddy! We didn't even talk about Teddy B coming into the game. That was
hype. That was hype. Former Jet.
Yeah, I was a little bit buzzed at that time. I was like, "Why the fuck is Teddy B in the game?" I had no idea what was going on.
Job kept talking about Teddy B.
They scored a touchdown on that drive. Jameson Williams.
All right. Good thing you just got talked over, Rat. Let's go to the chat. Cute little date, Rat X Magoon. No, there was other people there. Dave and Buster's, best place to watch sports in America. I think everyone wants the Commies to win the Super Bowl. Michael doesn't. He just said he didn't want the Commies to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Greg. God.
And I hate it. Oh, our division rivals. I hope the Bills.
Can I put a verbal comment into the podcast?
Yeah.
Do you know if there's a way to bet a player to not score a touchdown?
I've been thinking about that. I don't think so, though.
I looked it up. It said DraftKings has it. But
I'll look on DK right now. More comments from the chat. Rat, maybe you can answer this one. Why is America so cold?
Yeah, it's because of the polar vortex. It's coming in. Actually, they're saying that February, March, and April for most of the country is going to be well above average temperatures. Not up north, but in the south, it's going to be well above average.
I thought today.
Farmer's Almanac.
They do have players not to score, so maybe we can dive into that later if you want.
Yeah, we'll have to touch base on that. So it's kind of like I'm reversed. So picture like a sine wave. Oh shoot, it's so confusing. Picture a sine wave, right? And so right now we have more sun than we did December 21st, the smallest amount of sunlight in a year. And so it's kind of like an acceleration thing where it's like right now we're getting more sunlight, but the Earth's still cooling down because we're still in that area where it's like the temperature's accelerating downward. And that's kind of like, you think about it, like what's the hottest time of the year? It's like 6 months from now, late July, early August, that type of thing.
True.
Right.
Smart man.
Good knowledge. My testicles have fucking icicles hanging down.
Oh yeah, Dub, did you want to talk about the Teddy Bridgewater thing that you're so obsessed with?
No, I didn't bring that up at all. You guys kept talking about that. I had no idea what you were talking about, and then someone sent the picture.
Have you seen that picture? Can we pull the picture up?
No, we're
Who's
not.
the production guy?
No. Our production guy is smoking a cig right now. He's unable to come to the phone. About to be at my grandparents. Good luck, fellas. Thank you. Only making 2 picks tonight, and our focus 5, but
0 viewers.
Nope, we actually have 2. Okay, on to Sunday. Eagles-Rams. Fun game in the snow. I thought the Rams, once it started snowing, were going to be out of it just because they're a West Coast team, but they looked okay, man. I thought that they might even win this game outright. I know I was on the Rams. I'm assuming, Michael, you were on the Rams as well. I think Rad took the Eagles, but
I was on the Rams.
Fun game. Like, this was a fun football game. Glad to have watched it. I mean, I don't even know what else to say.
A lot of fun.
What happened at the end? I forget. Didn't someone fumble or something? Stafford fumbled.
The Rams are down 12 or something. The Rams are down 13. They score a touchdown. They just have a crazy drive where it's like 2 minutes on the field, boom, 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 and they score. But they didn't have any timeouts, and I think that they did their timeout math wrong. I've been on the lookout at Sean McVay the past few years. I think his timeout math is a little bit off. I think he needs to work
People
on
have been
that
saying I think, Michael, you mentioned something about that. His clock management was horrible in the first couple of weeks. I remember you said something like that.
I might have said that. They made it to the Philadelphia 22-yard line.
Yeah, that drive was
to
hype.
the Philadelphia 13-yard line.
Yes, yeah.
And he got sacked.
They had a 3rd and 3 with like a minute and a half left, and they were too scared to run the ball. You run the ball twice. It's quick and easy. You run the ball twice, you get a first down, and then if you throw a crazy pass play and it's snowing.
Once they hit that big pass play to Puka, I was hype. I was like, this is why I have Stafford in my top 5. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's just didn't end up happening.
Stafford's top 5 and also Herbert.
No, well, I said that's he'd be the one taking he'd be the one taking Herbert out of the top 5. Herbert's number 6.
Okay. All right.
After 4, it's debatable, man. I mean, we could sit here all day.
Eagles are bad. I don't like the Eagles, but
Eagles are so bad. Oh yeah, I wanted to say they won by 12 in the first game, 4 turnovers to 0 turnovers. This game was 2 turnovers to 0 turnovers. And these turnovers are complete luck. Like, Philly fumbled the ball a few times, and they just got it themselves. That is, like, luck. That is not a Super Bowl winning team. I think the Eagles will probably win this next game, but I don't know I don't see how they win the Super Bowl. I really don't think them or the Chiefs have played, like, a good playoff game. I guess the Chiefs only played 1, but they haven't looked good at all the past 5 weeks, neither of those teams.
What about Saquon? 26 carries, 205.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
He's electric. He's the only
4 catches, 27 yards.
Offense. How many passing yards did Jalen Hurts have?
128. You see the thing that in the playoffs they're 4-0 when he has less than 160 passing yards and 0-4 when he has more than 160 passing yards?
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Forced him to throw. I remember that playoff game against Tampa a couple years ago. They forced him to throw, and he couldn't do shit. I don't think Jalen Hurts is very good. I'm actually kind of out.
Remember like 2 or 3 years ago when the players voted him number 1 in their
that poll is the biggest cap ever. I don't like that poll. The top 100.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rams, I feel like a lot of questions to be answered. Cooper Kupp was saying he wants to play football, but he's not sure if it's going to be with the Rams next year. So maybe he could join a young quarterback. Not sure. I think Stafford said he has more in the tank as well. Not sure if he's on the books next year or where he's going to go. A lot of fun stuff could happen with the quarterback market this offseason, but it probably just end up being mostly boring as it always is. But as long as the Rams have McVay, I like the Rams. That defensive line is crazy. I didn't realize that Fisk was a rookie too. Jared Verse, both of them are in the top.
Jared Verse was a dog. Yeah. He was egging on the crowd. It was lit.
Was so fun. That was so much fun.
I love how he took a lap at the beginning of the game just to like go chirp people from Philly. Like that's takes balls to do.
He did.
Both of them are in the top 5 for NL Defensive Rookie of the Year. So best of luck to them.
Jared Verse is definitely gonna win.
Yeah, I think he's the favorite. Anything else we want to touch on this divisional round before we move to the last game of the weekend?
AJ Brown is bad.
Yeah, I love that
Not
book.
bad, but
He's not bad, but that book is like selling like
yeah, it
record.
was released like 5 years ago, and it's now like an
Imagine that guy.
bestseller or
He
something.
sold like 1,000 copies, and then AJ Brown's just reading his book, and then he just got millions. I actually kind of want to read that book now. I got tricked by
What is it called? Like Inner Excellence?
It's
or
like how to
something
better
that?
yourself or something like that. Yeah.
It's an
All right.
Aaron Rodgers type book.
Let's move on to the last. I don't know what you mean by that. Maybe he reads that book when he's taking his 4th stream of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Last game. Unfortunately for us Ravens backers, this was a tough one. I mean, everything was dead on this one for me, so I didn't rebet it because I had them in a parlay. It was already dead, so I was like, I'm not doing this because I think the Bills could easily win this one. Obviously, Bills do win outright. Somehow the Ravens closed as a -1.5 favorite. I don't want to slander Mark Andrews too much, but I think Rat's going to, so I'll let him do that. I mean, this was a fun game back and forth. Like, I think this is easily the best game of the weekend. Maybe not easily because the Rams-Eagles came down to the wire too, but just I'm sure we'll see these two quarterbacks play again. Feel for Lamar. He's going to start getting the narrative of he can't win in the playoffs. Not sure that's totally fair. I mean, I think really when you're in a conference with Mahomes, it's kind of hard to win that too. But I mean, last year was the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Now it's the Bills versus the Chiefs. This year, Bills advance. So, Michael, we'll go to you before we hit Rat because I think Rat might have a rant. Maybe not, but what were your thoughts from this one as a Bills supporter? You took the Bills to win this game.
It was always a lock, honestly.
Once Say was out, I was like, all right, things are kind of going sideways here, but
no, in reality, this was a great game. I don't really know how the Bills won it. Like I think they get out to a big lead and then kind of just like sat on it. Is that what
pretty
happened?
much. They were up like 14, I think, at one point,
Yeah.
and then kind of just rode that.
That's like I feel like what they like to do. They like to score early and just run the ball, which is playoff football. That's like how you win games in the playoffs. Josh is definitely didn't play a great game, but he got it done when he needed to.
127 yards passing.
Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns.
True.
I don't know. It was sort of weird. I thought the Ravens, like, if this game went to overtime, I feel like the Ravens would have won it, which I'm glad that it didn't, obviously. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Ravens do this offseason. Like you're saying, like, Lamar's playoff numbers are not horrible, but the record's not there, which is tough for him. But, yeah.
Okay. Tee us off, Rat.
No, I mean everything you said was true. I mean, it was kind of just like Bills took an early lead. There's like Mark Andrews actually. So that play happened. Obviously, I'm rooting for Lamar. I'm really just a Lamar supporter. I mean, on that drive, there was 2 different plays where I watched it and I said, one of the plays only Lamar Jackson can make that play. A different play, maybe a few guys can make that play. But he's just running around. He's crazy. Throws a dot. He's so good. He's the best player in the NFL. Sad that we can't see more of him. Who's the best player in the NFL?
Joe Burrow.
Would you fight him? You think you'd beat him in a fight?
I don't think it would be the worst fight in the world, but he'd probably beat my ass.
With Joe Burrow?
He'd probably kick my ass. How tall is Joe Burrow?
He's
like 6'4".
6'4", yeah.
Probably has got a couple pounds in me, but I mean, does he scrap? I don't know. What is? I mean, I'm kidding about the Joe Burrow thing. I think the best player in the league is obviously Mahomes. Then you have the debate between Lamar and Josh Allen. I'm taking Josh Allen currently this year, but
Lamar's he's gotten better at passing. He's like a way better passer than he was before, and he was a good passer before, and he can still run. He can elude the pocket. Anyways, that he throws the ball to Mark Andrews, right? He throws the playbook to Mark Andrews. It's right here. I stand up, already start running to the kitchen, just because that's a place when a play happens, you stand up and run. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see the ball go flying out, and I turned around for a half second. I said, "No way!" And I ran away and I went home.
Maybe a hot take, but I think if he caught that, he wouldn't have even been in the end zone.
What I
Incorrect.
heard is that it was actually Lamar's fault, and he should have thrown the ball earlier because he was open for like 10 seconds before he threw the ball to him and dirted it.
Yeah, no, my initial thought, I don't know. I mean, like, what do you do if you're Mark Andrews? You can't go back. You can't be out in the street in public in Baltimore.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't talked to the press all week yet.
He hasn't talked to the press.
People were Cam Newton was on First Take today, and he was like, "Man, if no one from Fox Sports has to go and talk to the media, then Mark Andrews shouldn't be obligated to talk to the media because they have that huge lawsuit that no one has spoken on." Funny clip, but yeah, I guess that's a story that's running around is he's not talking to the media. I know the Bills have raised like $100K for him to try and support him and lift him up. I think that's the thing that fan base have been doing. Someone kind of gives you a win like that, not meaningfully so, but they're like, we're going to make sure this guy has money in his charity. I don't know. I think.
What's the Fox Sports lawsuit?
The Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless one.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You're talking about the political one. Yeah, honestly, just take your money, give your charity money away, say this was a good run, and go, like, become a football coach somewhere far away from Baltimore and live the rest of your life.
He's young. I think he's actually pretty young, Mark Andrews. I think he was like
he can have a whole new life, but that is tough. That's a bad.
I don't think in a year or two that people will still be mad at Mark Andrews.
He had a rough drop. Didn't he fumble the ball too? Didn't he fumble for a loss?
Yeah, he fumbled the ball.
His first fumble in like 4 years.
Gave the Bills a score, I think.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a tough.
Just
tough
stay out of Baltimore for a while.
Baltimore is not the place you want to be.
It really never is, but
unless you're watching The Wire.
Yeah, or if you're on a bridge or something. Shout out that bridge that got hit by.
Shout out that bridge.
I died on that bridge.
No, it was actually pretty chill. It wasn't even that bad. I mean, I can't imagine the traffic. Oh my goodness! Wow. When you become an adult and you see that story and you go, "Oh my goodness!"
It was at like 3 a.m. It was fun. All right. Any final?
There anymore? All right. Okay.
Any final thoughts? We in Rhode Island, I experienced this when I used to go to a certain office every day.
That's true.
I experienced a bridge trouble. Any final thoughts on Bills Ravens? Before we move on
it's really sad. I mean, I'm just really sad. Like Lamar's been to the playoffs the past 3 years, the past 4 years, and he hasn't gone to even a chance. Like he went to one AFC Championship game. It's really sad. You want to see the best player in the league, play in the big games. That's just all. That's my.
Every year. That's Mahomes.
Oh my God, with this Mahomes thing. All right, keep it moving. What's the next game?
Next game is our round that we will be predicting. Actually, I need a double check spread, so you can say something if you want to.
About what?
I don't know. Life? Any intermediate? Okay, we're good. So the first game on Sunday, the Commanders versus the Eagles. Round 3. Eagles win the first one. Commanders win the second one. We were actually once again in company for that second win over the Commanders when they beat the Eagles. So the Eagles get 6 points in Philadelphia. 3 o'clock game, first game on Sunday, championship Sunday. So we'll start with Michael. What is your take for this one? Commanders get 6 points on the road. Just beat the number 1 seed, just beat the Bucs, both away. Now they go to Philly, division rivals, round 3. 6 points on the road. You have the Eagles in the Super Bowl, so you'll be taking the Eagles in the 6. The Commanders to cover, maybe win the game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Commanders to cover this here. But I'm going to take the Eagles to win, obviously, because they're my Super Bowl team out of the NFC. Yeah, I feel like if we didn't have the bracket and I didn't have a Super Bowl team, I think I'd still pick the Commanders, honestly. They've been playing a lot better football than the Eagles have been playing.
Wait, what is your bracket? Your bracket has the Eagles winning, so you already picked the Commanders. So would it change if you?
No, it wouldn't change. I was just doing the exercise out loud.
Okay. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, the Commanders have been playing super good football in the playoffs, and the Eagles, like we were saying before, didn't look good in their game last week or the week before. They kind of just got gifted wins, and Jalen Hurts is I mean, he's done it in the playoffs. Like, he's had good playoff games, but I feel like he's not the type of quarterback that wins in the playoffs. You need to have like a more well-rounded game, and you can't throw the ball. So if he dices them up for 300 yards and they win this game, then I'll eat my words.
Don't say whatever you no, don't say it. You don't want to be held accountable for that. You don't want to be like the Florida State football guy who had to eat dog shit.
You didn't do it.
Yeah, I know. And then he cursed his team for the whole year.
He
So
did. What about
the Notre Dame guy? What happened? Is there any update?
If Notre Dame won the championship, he'd have to cut his dick off, so his dick is safe until his next stupid promise that he makes.
Yeah. So I won't be making any promises here, but I'm gonna take the Commanders +6.
Okay. Rat, are you similar?
You cut out a bit there, Colin. I really want to take the Commanders. I think. Do you see Dub's face?
His face is hilarious.
I want to take the Commanders so badly here, but all the public's on them, and it's like I hate going with my gut because my gut's always wrong. So I'm going to take the Eagles again. Last week my gut said Rams. Took the Eagles. Backdoor, half a point cover. I'm going to take the Eagles this week because I hate it, and I want the Commies to win. Colin, are you in?
In the Shadow Realm. Colin. All right, I guess. Oh, he's gone. I guess we can go to the next game if you want.
I think let's hold down the fort a bit. What are you excited to see here? What do you think happens with this game? I think the Commies.
So I definitely have some. I got some Focus 5 for this game, which I won't reveal, but I think that some trends will continue along the lines of Jalen Hurts passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be a scrappy game. I could see it being like a high 20s game, but I could also see it being like a insane like 38-42 game.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I hope to see it. Every Commies game's been fun so far. They're a fun team to watch.
They are.
And the Eagles are so crazy because it's just like they'll do nothing, 70-yard touchdown run by Saquon, and then nothing, 70-yard run.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you go get Saquon. That's why the Giants are forever bad. Right, Greg? He's not there anymore, but he's there.
Dub said, pull me to the stage. I can't do it.
I can't do it either, Dub.
Exiting full screen.
I don't have access to that. Continue on. So, Dub, what's your pick? Comment what your pick is in the chat.
His pick is Bills +2.
All right, we can go to the next game. It's Bills +2. You can take it, Ken, if you want.
Colin just said Bills +2 next game. Hopefully I'll be back. I think his mom called him up for dinner. What is my pick in this game? Oh my goodness. I'm gonna take the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes. I hate it. I hope the Bills win. I hope the Bills spank them. I have a coworker who was a Patriots fan and just slowly abandoned that over the past 5 years, and it just wears Bills and Josh Allen's thing every year. So, oh hey Dub, what's up?
Internet, Verizon once again failed me.
I thought you fixed it.
I know it hasn't happened in a long time, but the momentary lapse kicked me out of the stream. Give my pick quickly.
So I had the Eagles. Mikey had the Commanders.
All right, I'm taking the Eagles -6. I can't. It's a situation where I can't keep. So I bet against the Commanders in round 1. That was my favorite pick of the week. Was the Bucks. I bet against the Commanders in round 2. That was kind of a barely situation. I think this is an easy spread for the Commanders to cover, so I'm taking the Eagles. I got to keep going against them because if the moment I take them, they're going to lose. I know that's just fact. So I'm going with the Eagles -6. I think they control this game, running game, keep it low scoring, figure out a way to keep Jaden.
This is a low scoring game?
Yeah.
Not a 42-38 game?
No, I don't see the Eagles being able to output that number. So if I'm taking the Eagles, I think it's going to have to be lower than that. I think this could be like a 24-17 game, 27-19, something like that. I got the Eagles to cover. It's not great, but I think this sets up my Super Bowl matchup, which features the Eagles in it. And I'll talk about my pick for next game now as we get to it. But
Wait, Deb, can we contradict our picks on our Focus 5? Are there rules?
No, there's no rules. It's Wild West.
Wild West.
Yeah. So I'm with you on the Eagles. Me and Rat taking that. Rat, sorry I interrupted you by coming back and having an internet crash out. So you were explaining how you were taking the Chiefs -2.
Yeah, just I'm sad, and this year it's always sad, and the Chiefs always win, and the Bills weren't showing me it last week. The Bills aren't even a good team. James Cook is their only good player. Josh Allen's okay. All right, Josh Allen's good.
Josh Allen's fine.
They're gonna have to play. They're gonna have to play a good game out in Arrowhead. I mean, there's no snow. It's just gonna be like
they do it. It's a good rivalry. They've played a lot of good games.
True.
Yeah.
That, I remember where I was watching that 15-second Mahomes drive.
Oh my goodness, that game was nuts. Remember that when the Bills scored and the Chiefs scored and the Bills scored and the Chiefs scored and the Bills then the Chiefs kicked a field goal to tie it, and then they went to overtime and they won, and the Bills and Josh Allen said, "I played a perfect game. You can't." And then they changed the rule, and they didn't actually even really change the rule. Wait, did they change the overtime rule where you can both teams get it no matter what?
Yeah, they did.
In the playoffs only, yeah.
They did.
Oh, I'm betting on overtime this game. That's for sure.
That's probably a
They're
good
coming
bet.
back, and then the Chiefs are going to still win by 3.
Okay, so you're taking the Chiefs -2 at home.
I think overtime.
This was this. No, that doesn't. We can maybe get to that later. I think this was the same spread last year. It might have even been Bills -2. Sorry. They played a divisional round game where the Chiefs won. Interested because I remember I took the Bills to win that, but they didn't. So Michael, we'll go to you here. Are you sticking true to your Super Bowl guns? You have the Commanders covering but losing, so you have the Eagles. Are you remaining true and taking the Bills as well to win the to go to the Super Bowl?
Yes, I am. I think it's time. I don't think that I honestly at the beginning of the year I said that the Bills, like Cam was saying, they're not a good team. They don't have a great roster, but they get it done. They know how to win. They know how to play the Chiefs. I think they're 500 against them in the Josh Allen being good era.
Chiefs this year. That's their one loss.
Yeah. What about the one win? I don't like that.
Hard to beat a team 2 times.
It is in Arrowhead, which if it was in Buffalo, I'd definitely take the Bills. I think they'd probably be favorites if it was in Buffalo.
It'd probably be exactly flipped. The Bills would be -2.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Bills win this game. I mean, I just see them being in the Super Bowl, basically. And I really just don't want to see the Chiefs there again. And I feel like it's time. When was the last time a team was in the Super Bowl 4 years in a row? 5 years in a row? How many times in a row have they been there?
They didn't go a couple years ago when the Rams and the Bengals played.
All right, four out of 5 then, I think. Maybe that.
Let's see. They went our freshman year of college. They played against the 49ers and won. Sophomore year, it was the Bucs versus them, and then the Bucs won. Junior year, it was the Bengals versus the Rams. Senior year, it was the Eagles versus the Chiefs. Chiefs won. Last year was the Chiefs versus the 49ers, and they won. So
yeah, so
4
out of 5. Yeah.
Patriots did that.
Yeah.
Seahawks, Patriots, Broncos, Cam Newton, Pats, Falcons, Pats, Eagles, Pats, Rams.
Yep, they did do that. Okay, so to end us all off here, to break the tie once again, I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah.
It's just a hard overhead pick. We can't have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We need some good sports, other than the college. The college sports are the only sports that are providing, if the Chiefs win, it's what am I doing here? I was already crashing out after last year's Super Bowl win for the Chiefs. If they win again this year, I'm going to crash out even harder. I might just stop caring about the NFL, but I probably won't. But I mean, this is just the saddest of tales. If it's like Josh Allen and Lamar just become like Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck and just like worse version of them and just can't even get into the Super Bowl. So I'm taking the Bills. They're gonna have to play a pretty perfect game, but they're not gonna play the most. They're not gonna play the most perfect game because the Chiefs have looked kind of sloppy all year. I think it's gonna come down to a couple plays late. I do like the overtime pick. I think that's a possibility. Both teams get the ball. Honestly, I think this year alone, Mahomes hasn't been very good. He hasn't had a moment where it's like I still think he's the best player in the NFL. Don't get me wrong, but he hasn't had a moment where it's like, damn, that's Mahomes. Maybe it's in this game. He pulls like a Brady against Mahomes in that AFC Championship game. Maybe get it offsides from Von Miller or something. I don't know, but I'm taking the Bills +2. I think the Bills win this game, setting up Bills Eagles. That's my new Super Bowl pick. What I think is going to happen. Of course, I'd want Bills versus Commies, but I think it's going to be Bills Eagles. I think there's a lot of intrigue in that Super Bowl. I just don't see the Commanders making it, and I just hope the Chiefs don't. So that's my pick for Bills Chiefs. That wraps up our conference championship. So now it's time for everyone's favorite segment of the week, Focus 5. So quickly, last week, Rat and I both were 2 and 3 on the board. Michael 1 and 4. Some close picks for Mikey, throwing a little bit extra sauce. So that is what screwed you over there. Yeah. So Rat, take us away with your Focus 5. Hopefully you have one. You're 3 and 8 on the year.
Tied up. So my first one is not really bettable. I wanted to do.
Saquon I can pull up the nod to score if you want.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Can we screencast on this? Can we screencast?
That's too past our budget.
But
you can hit the present button.
I'm on my phone on DraftKings.
Where are you seeing that? Can you take me through this slowly?
Yeah. So who do you want to look at for not to score in the Commanders-Eagles game?
Yeah, Saquon.
Saquon not to score is +160.
Where? But can you show me how to get to that, please? This is important for my stats.
It's on DraftKings.
Yeah, I'm on DraftKings.
Okay, you go to touchdown scores, and then scroll all the way to the bottom, and then it says player not to score.
All the way to the bottom. Oh, look at that. +160. Oh my god, they put that even at the bottom of that too. Hold on. Quick second. I'm not gonna answer your call.
No calls. We're doing a fucking Focus 5 here. All right, Michael, do you want to take us away while Rat investigates this?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, Mikey, you're at 22 and 58 on the season. I'm sure the units might be positive, but take us away. Give us some picks here for championship weekend.
Yes. So I have like 7 single things, and I don't know. I might put them together. Who really knows? I'll put them together as I'm talking. All right. So we're going to do a solo bet here we're going to take the Chiefs first half under, which I think was at 12.5 last time I looked. And then we're going to also take solo. We're going to take the Bills over 23.5.
Team total.
Yep.
Okay.
And all right, so those are 2 separates. And then the next 3, first one is Saquon and Brian Robinson touchdown. And then we got a Jalen Hurts under passing yards, which is, I think, 180.5. And A.J. Brown under 57.5 yards receiving. And then we're also going to take, as the last pick, Jane Daniels 2+ touchdowns.
Love it.
And
rushing?
The Eagles are going to win. Passing.
So you're adding Eagles money line to that, or is that a separate play?
No, that's not a.
Okay, that's not a play. Got it. Rat, are you ready, or you want me to take over for Focus 5?
Yeah, I'm ready. I found it, but you can't put it in a parlay. So I'll just say it anyways. My first one's Saquon under 125 rushing yards. Philly team total under 27.5. And then I had 0 touchdowns in that, but you can keep that off and get your +$210 to win 20. Get some stats here. $20. A second is Jane Daniels over 275 passing yards. Jane Daniels over 40 rushing yards. Washington Commanders alt spread -4.5. Jane Daniels anytime touchdown score. That's $10 to win $426.
Okay.
My third bet is under 47.5 in the Philly-Washington game with under 48.5 in the Chiefs-Bills game. Both unders, $10 to win $26.46. Those are some pretty high over-unders. I mean, a little gross, but not bad.
I think one of those.
Fourth here, we have Mahomes anytime touchdown score and Chiefs money line. That's $10 to win $69.30. That bet is probably my favorite bet there because.
That's my favorite one that you've said so far.
All right, well, how about this one? Correct score.
Oh boy.
Washington 24, Eagles 20. Parlay that with correct score, Chiefs 27, Bills 20. You can bet $10 to win $155,560.
Just
Let's get rich this weekend, boys.
And by the way, we're putting that units wise. I will be. Say only the last one hits. I'll be.
Yeah, you'll be up to 17 million units.
Yeah, I'll be 1.556 million and 9, whatever it is.
Okay.
That's how we do it.
So first, can you explain why you have Commanders minus 4.5 on one of your parlays and you have exact score then winning by 4? Is that like a hedge kind of?
No, in my brain it was 3.5. I actually already made that bet. That's the only bet I've made. The over 275 over 40 touchdown. Commies minus.
Got it.
But I think I bet minus 3.5 is what I originally bet. So I think in my brain I had 3.5, but then I wrote down 4.5 and I was confused. And also 24-20 is a good score, right?
Yeah.
Good football
right.
score.
One of the more common scoregamis when you don't get scoregami. So just one of the more common scores.
The non-scoregami. The most common non-scoregami.
Okay, thank you for your Focus 5. Now it's time for my Focus 5. Once again, I'm the most boring, but first parlay, Bills and Eagles money line. That's my Super Bowl pick, so take them both. I believe that adds up to like plus 120. All these bets I did place today, so hand up. I'm actually placing my bets. Anyways, next one, Devonta Smith, touchdown, plus 185. I feel like he's been pretty quiet. If this game is a high-scoring game like you guys said, it could potentially be. I think Devonta Smith gets in the end zone. A.J. Brown has been kind of non-existent, but he also scored a touchdown last week, so time for Devonta to get in. I also think Marshawn Lattimore is going to be guarding A.J., so who's guarding Devonta Smith? Next one, Saquon and Hurts both to score. That gives you plus 135. Kind of a basic pick. I also did a bonus bet today that was just like not going to win because it was so simple. But I think the Eagles will try and run the ball a lot as well. I mean, Hurts is going to get a tush push because he just always does. And then Saquon has just been beasting. So take them both. Plus 135. Decent odds there. Next one, moving on to other game. Straight up, Kareem Hunt touchdown. He's been the go-to guy in the red zone for handoffs. It hasn't been Pacheco. I've been waiting on Pacheco all season. It's not going to happen. Kareem Hunt is the playoff runner for the Chiefs. So I think him at plus 135 is almost free money because I believe the Chiefs will get a running touchdown. Maybe it's Mahomes, and then Rat will be rich. But if not, I'll be rich with Kareem Hunt. Last one, kind of a long shot here. Dalton Kincaid, anytime touchdown. I feel like Josh Allen will look for his tight ends. The wide receivers aren't really getting the job done. I mean, they're good guys. Like Shakir is good, Cooper's good, Samuel's good, but they haven't really been getting in the end zone. I think maybe like a bootleg hit Dalton Kincaid in the corner, something like that, plus 315 on that touchdown. So that's my Focus 5. Second to last Focus 5. One more before the Super Bowl. Now let's go to our bracket update. A lot of people's brackets in shambles because we had the Lions going to the Super Bowl, but we have the standings here. So Mark is in the lead. He has 11 points. Next, tied for second, we have Tendy and Michael. You are tied for second with 10 points, only 1 point behind. Texans, Colin has 8 points. Cam has 7. And I have 4, and my bracket is dead. So I secured last place on my own podcast. But that's why we didn't place any money on this. My bracket always ends up being bad for these sports for some reason. Mostly the NFL because it's kind of the most unpredictable. So that'll do it for all we have here. Anything else we wanted to touch on? The All-Star starters for the NBA just got released. If you want to give a quick reaction to that. If not, Ohio State.
Jalen Brunson and Cat, both All-Star
Yeah,
starters.
that's actually, I didn't even realize that. I saw that. I didn't even realize both Knicks. Good for them.
Good for them. Jalen deserved it last year. Cat's been a dog all year.
What'd you say, Rat?
What did Mikey say?
Something about Cat and Jalen Brunson both being starters.
Cat sucks. Can you go through that list?
All right, so we'll start in the West because we're more cared about the East. So Stephen Curry, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic.
That's
Starters.
so stupid.
What's stupid about it, LeBron?
LeBron.
Yeah.
And also KD.
He's still okay. He's probably shouldn't be.
KD's good. I'm in fantasy.
No, he is good.
Who would you put instead of LeBron? Luka? Is Luka hurt? Or
No, he's hurt. I don't even know. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
I only voted on the East this year.
So for the East, we have Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Karl Anthony Towns.
Any other Celtics on the non-starters? Or they're not starters?
They haven't announced that yet. Because they do the starters first, and they do their backups. I believe LeBron and Giannis are the captains.
Do you remember that? Why were they all hating on Harden that one year? Remember when they were all LeBron put the whiteboard over his head? And
oh yeah, that was funny because he was requesting a trade at the time. He was on the Nets. He was like, I want out of here, or on the Rockets, and they're like, I don't want him because he's a diva.
They wanted to put him with KD.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that wasn't even one.
Yeah, that was the thing. He was with the Nets. He was with KD. So then it was like KD and LeBron were the captains. LeBron's like, I'm not going to take Harden. He was like geeking. That's a good clip.
Get the joke now. It was always so funny, but yes.
All right. Any final thoughts? Ohio State national champions.
Yeah, I didn't see a second of this game. I didn't even know that was going on. It was late on Wednesday, and my roommate said, "So Ohio State won." I said, "Oh, I completely forgot about college sports." I haven't seen a single clip of it. I haven't seen anything. So I'd love to hearing something about the game. Was it any good? Was there any fun?
It was fun in the second half. So Ohio State goes up big. They were 8.5 point favorites. They're up basically 2 or 3 scores the whole game. Notre Dame comes back in the fourth quarter, down like 16 or 15, and then ultimately just couldn't get the job done. Ohio State prevails. It was fun. I mean, they had like third down. I think for the game it was like 3rd down and 3. Notre Dame blitzes, and then they hit their stud wide receiver for like a 50-yard pass, and that iced the game for Ohio State. So that was probably like the breaking point of the game, but it was fun. I agree with you though. There was no buzz around this game whatsoever. I think they drew it out too long. Now you're competing with NFL playoffs. Like they got to shorten that up, shorten that cycle. They got to fix the whole overall college cycle because you have kids transferring out before their seasons are over. You have the national championship airing the week after as you're playing chess and sharing it with the chat. I agree with you though.
This is what you need to do, Dub. This is perfect for clips. Look at this, make one. Perfect for clips. There you go. Now keep talking. This is exactly what people want, Colin.
It's like TikTok. Show the fucking.
Anyways, on the sideline.
Yeah, and then you're just doing a story. Any final thoughts? We're 1 week, or we won't be back.
We're gonna do a Pro Bowl flag football stream.
I'm doing the first ever Dubcast without me in it. So Mikey and Cam will be back to break down the Pro Bowl flag football game. I'm going to be out in Cabo getting my drinks in before the Super Bowl. So I'm letting these guys take the reins. They'll have your Focus 5 for the flag football Pro Bowl game.
Flag football tackles.
Anytime
touchdown scores. They'll have the dodgeball winners. They'll have everything.
That's going to be a fun podcast.
Yeah. Maybe we're going to have some fun.
Are you actually going to Cabo?
No, I was just making that up.
That's the case.
Okay, last comment to end us off here. We have our friend Zach, who I believe has commented in the chat, maybe on the college streams before. He says, Chiefs win Super Bowl, 3-peat versus Commanders. I don't think any of us have Chiefs versus Commanders in the Super Bowl.
No, we don't.
Unfortunately. I want one of the Bills or Commanders to win. I'd kind of be okay with that. It'd be fun. I mean, no Super Bowls, no rookie quarterbacks ever started a Super Bowl, so that's pretty fun. That's a fun little narrative to think.
Never?
No, never even started in a Super Bowl. Never won a championship game, conference championship game. So that's a fun thing.
Fun fact to end us out here. So thanks so much for joining. If you're watching on the replay, appreciate you. As always, we'll be back in 2 weeks for the Super Bowl breakdown. Breaking down everything, coin toss. We're going to have a big stream prepared for the Super Bowl commercials. Maybe I don't know what you
Give
can
us
bet
the
on.
teaser, Dub. Who you got in the coin toss? Give us a teaser.
It's
You
always
got
heads.
first.
It's always heads.
It's tails.
Tails always fails.
Tails never fails.
So luckily for us anti-Chiefs haters, Zach said he was wrong with college football, so maybe he'll be wrong again with the Chiefs because no one wants to see the Chiefs.
True.
Other content on the channel coming: Django Unchained Saturday. I know Rat, you like that movie, and then we have To Live and Die in LA next week. After that, more movie reviews. The Revenant TV shows will continue after football is over. I do want to continue a live show in some capacity because this has been fun streaming to the masses. So stay tuned.
Did you like that movie, To Live and Die in LA?
We legally can't talk about it on stream. Watch my review. So I'll say one thing about it. I thought my review would be pretty short about it, but it ended up being like 33 minutes. So I had a lot to say about it.
It was a fun movie. It was a good, almost like a Shakespearean ending there. We won't spoil it.
Watch the review. First of all, watch the movie, then watch the review. Double score there. So subscribe, like, comment, and as always, be easy, guys. Peace
Dub,
out.
you ever thought about doing like Twitch or something like that? Keep your live thing going.